Are you ready?
Yes, I'm story synced in.
I'm ready. I think. My mom and dad are going to sit here and watch The Walking Dead with us, and we're going to get them hooked too. So let's make it through the intro, and then we'll do the Vlogging Dead. How you doing?
Cleaned.
Fuck, I'm out of here then. You guys had a lot of good comments this last time, so we're going to go over these just really quickly. Virus Han, I think Mika being a happy-go-lucky pushover and Lizzie showing basically the early signs of a serial killer was the perfect way to show opposite ends of the spectrum and how they can't survive, and somewhere in the middle is the place to be. I agree, totally.
Yeah, but Mika could have been taught, and the other one couldn't have been brought back. But Mika could have been taught to defend herself.
Right Starter B, I thought it was really effed up that they killed the kids the way they did. It was way too much and too far. My feeling on that is, I mean, I see where you're coming from, but this is an apocalypse. If you put yourself in the actual situation of it, it kind of makes it a little bit more real and what they would really have to deal with.
Yeah, I mean, what were they going to do? Keep Lizzie around so she killed Judith too?
Yeah, she already almost did it once and nobody knew about that.
Maybe if she killed Judith, it would make Judith walk.
Wow. Awoken Nightmare, I'm sorry, but I find it frustrating that every single cast member just happens to be headed to the exact same place. True, but they kind of said it on The Talking Dead tonight. We kind of all want them to be together and everything, and I have a feeling that everybody's not going to stay together. That's just my hunch.
Well, the signs were everywhere, not just on the train tracks. They were like on cars and buildings and all this kind of stuff. And
right.
The signs were everywhere.
So if you think about it, if they get to Terminus and it's this big awesome place or whatever, this euphoric place, then
saw it.
Well, right, but the show would be over. So we don't want the show to be over. I want to start tonight with the battery and Eugene.
Oh, when he picked up that coin and then he said with some aluminum foil and wire, he got battered.
Oh, yeah, I got a battery. Look at me, I got a mullet. I know everything. So I think that he was trying to say, hey, I'm hella smart. Just to exude his smartness so that other people instantly feel not as smart as he is, so that they would look up to him. I think that's where he was going with that.
He made a comparison. He said that maybe this is the way the dinosaurs went out.
He was also trying to impress her too, because at that point he still didn't know that she was a lesbian.
Yeah. Right. Well, he didn't know up until she actually said it.
Right.
And then right after the coin thing with the battery, he's like, "So what video games do you like?" Da 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 da. And I'm like, really? It's like one minute you say something smart, and next minute a complete moron. It's like he's totally lying. He's not a scientist. He's just making up all these smart words. I bet you in his backpack he has a dictionary and a thesaurus. And he's just making up the shit as he goes along.
This episode is the last one before the season finale. This was episode 15, entitled Us. And that is actually reiterated when...
In Daryl's new group.
Yes, in Daryl's new group. So it lived up to the title, and...
Pretty much, if you're not one of us, you're dead.
Well, right.
And it was proven.
Talking about
brought
Daryl's
that guy
group.
Down for one lie.
Talking about Daryl's group.
Yeah.
But also the Us is... It's episode-wide, because... Unlike the last couple of episodes that we've seen, to where it's concentrating on just a single group of people, right now we had everybody tonight, everybody in the mix and everything. So not only was it Daryl and his little group.
Well, they didn't show Carol and Tyrese.
Oh, well, that's true, because we just saw him last episode.
Joe?
Yes, Joe. Now I can't remember where I was going with this.
Well, they were fighting about the rabbit, and he saw the other dude put the rabbit in Daryl's bag and then claimed that he stole it. And then he called him a pussy police officer in his former life, so he must have been a cop. I believe Daryl's only with the group because he's trying to figure out what their motive is, and also just for a little bit of protection. But it's like they started talking about, Joe started telling him about the guy that beat somebody down at the house and let one of their guys kill one of their own. And he's like, "Did you get a good look at him?" And he starts describing him and whatnot. But Daryl doesn't catch on that it's Rick, because I was waiting for that. I was waiting for him to talk about it, and Daryl find out that it's Rick, and then he sees the candy wrapper or whatnot.
Daryl's into tracking, and the candy wrapper, I think, is indicative of him seeing and knowing that he's on the trail of all of his friends, or at least...
I think he's going to end up taking all of these guys out before they get there.
But we have to think about it, too. Where was Daryl when he met these guys? He was sitting there, on the trail trying to find... Beth. And so, I still think that he's just, like, riding with this group because he feels that maybe they know something about her. And he's just seeing where it goes to try and find her, kind of get back up on his feet because he's freaking tired and blah, blah, blah. So
I think he's just kind of using protection and just trying to see what they're after. I love the whole tunnel scene. That was really awesome. I was just so glad that Eugene made Rosita stop the car, and that's obviously because he saw Maggie and Sasha and Bob, and then they went down there and they saved Glenn and Tara. When they get to Terminus, okay, all the gates are open. They're not locked.
Yeah, they're not locked.
There's no guards at the gates.
There's nobody watching.
There's one lady in there, and she's cooking. And the first thing she says, you look like you've been on the road for a while. Let me fix you a plate.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I would say let's get you a bed. Let's get you some rest. And you want something to eat or some water. But let's fix you a plate. A plate of what? I think this is a place full of it's a trap. It's other humans luring humans in so that they can eat them. I think they're cannibals. That's what I think. And
think about it. That's kind of smart too, because here you are. You've got all these people bringing you a little bit of supplies, a little bit of clothing, a little bit of ammunition, a little bit of guns, all this stuff. And hey, oh wow, look,
yeah, pretty neat. Let me fix you a plate.
Yeah.
A plate of what?
Cannibalistic.
What did you happen to catch here on these barren railroad tracks?
What do you guys think about the way that Glenn lied to Maggie in the tunnel?
About Tara?
About Tara.
I met her on the road, and she just seems to be that kind of person, nice kind of person.
Yeah.
He'll tell her eventually.
Well, I don't know. I mean, when you meet somebody, when you find that person you've been looking for, and you thought they might have been dead, they might have not. I mean, it's your wife.
He's got to explain to her though that Tara was, under the governor's spell, and that she was, rebelled at him at the last minute, especially when she's seen, her niece dead, and then her sister gunned down, and then her girlfriend gunned down.
So do you think he was trying to save Maggie then? In
well,
the
yeah,
whole aspect
if
of
he right away
lying or telling her?
If he right away told Maggie that she was part of the governor's group, she would have blew her head off. So he's waiting to tell her that she's a good person, and that she got caught up with this guy, with the governor, before he tells her about the fact that she was standing a few feet behind her father before he got his head chopped off.
So what about the creepy photo? Here, let me put this blanket over you, and it's a photo I took while you were sleeping.
He didn't do that.
Burn it!
That's not how he took it. He rolled out of bed. I remember it because he rolled out of bed and took the camera and he took the picture, and he says, "I always want to remember you like this because you look so peaceful." And
she was sleeping. He had a picture of it. That's creeper. And I mean, she makes him burn it.
Well, because it was symbolic of the fact that they don't plan on ever being split up again. That was what that was symbolic of. But oh my God, I mean, okay, Terminus, death trap, big time death trap, and season 5 is going to be outrageous because I have a feeling this place is just full of the people that are running it are full of, they're just cannibals, and they're luring all these humans there.
Let's think of this logically too. So you're in a zombie apocalypse. You're sitting there advertising that people that's come or
arrive, survive.
Yeah, and you have a society. You've got a small little society, kind of like Woodbury, but you've only got so much food, so many supplies, so many places to put people, and you're going to tax yourself and your group that much more by bringing all these other people in. I mean, obviously, we all know that there has to be something bad about it, and it's just going to be a matter of time before we find out what that is, although it might be in October when this starts back up again. Unless you had something else, I have a question to ask all of you guys.
I just think it's funny how Eugene is using everybody and he's like under the spell. They're like, oh, we'll go to Terminus, and see what's going on and figure out what's everything, get some supplies, and then we'll all go to Washington.
Yeah, I don't think anybody's going to Washington. That would end up splitting people up, and I just don't think we're going to see that. Something's going to happen to...
I don't think Terminus is going to last very long because they're going to figure out what it is real quick. They ain't stupid.
Rick and Daryl and Carol are going to go in there and blow that shit up.
They're going to be like, okay, what are we eating here? Because, like...
So the question that we're going to ask you guys is, who do you feel is the most changed or evolved character throughout the whole series? It doesn't matter how long they've been on. Who do you think has gone from this character starting out at point A and they've been changed and grown? Who's now like up here now, as far as who's evolved the most, who's changed the most for the better, of course. So post that down in the comments and we'll talk about it next time. Although I really want to say something now how I feel, but we'll talk about it next time.
I got my opinion.
Yeah, I do too.
Well, why don't you just say yours?
No, because I don't want to. We'll let them answer.
Okay.
I don't want to salt the waters. So anyway, guys, happy hunting. Stay walking alive.
Don't go to Terminus.
And we'll see you guys next time.
Stay outside and see what happens to everybody else and then decide what you want to do. Happy hunting.
Yeah, what she said.
Hello, I'm Lou Temple. You know me as Axel from The Walking Dead, and I say to you, happy haunting. You follow me?